Hi, guys, and welcome again to Wheeling and Dealing with JJ. Blech, can't talk today. Today, we are going to talk about the phrases we have someone like you, and I know someone like you. Relatable or offensive? What would be your take on it? To me, I find it relatable because if you know somebody with a disability, you also know that maybe how to handle certain things or something like that. But then again, you may not know, even if you know somebody with a disability of the same sort. Like, let me give you an example of something I have done. Okay. There could be somebody that says, "Oh, I'm prone to seizures," and I could say, "Well, I've had a brother like that." And I use that in past tense because unfortunately my brother passed away about 5 years ago. And I miss him every day. But after I said that, I thought about it. And I was like, did what I just say help me understand the person, or did it unintentionally offend the person? Because while you may think you are being relatable, some people with disabilities could find that insulting. Like I said, me, I find it relatable because at least you know somebody that's like me, so you kind of know what to expect. But one thing we have to remember is that each disability has its own case. Like, I have cerebral palsy, okay? But that doesn't mean that my cerebral palsy is going to be different than Becky's down the street or Mickey from Philadelphia or, oh, the hell with it. You get my drift. But no two disabilities are the same. They may be the same in name, but keep in mind, and I need to do this myself as well, but keep in mind that even though the disability is the same in name, it could be totally different for another person. Like Down syndrome, or I was going to use polio, but that's not a good one because polio's kind of already happened and has gone away. But really, any disability of any sort. So I guess I would say that it is both. And I guess that's not much of a deep dive, but it's a quick dive. I guess it's both because you want to be relatable, but you also don't want to be insulting. So the best advice I could give, really, folks, is go for broke and see what happens. The worst thing that's going to happen is that somebody's going to walk up to you like Will Smith did to Chris Rock and be like, "Hey, keep my name out your fucking mouth." No, I'm kidding, but um, I mean, worst comes to worst, the most you can do is ask, or not ask, but tell someone that you know somebody that's like them, and if they get offended, apologize and go about your day. There's no use dwelling on it. There's no use, over apologizing for it because you didn't know. You did not know. So how can you apologize for something that you know nothing about? Where do you Yeah, that's attractive. Sorry, guys. Um, when you interact with a person with disabilities, just please, and I can't stress this enough. Please, for the love of God, or whatever you believe in, I don't care if you believe in Satan, but uh, for the love of God, talk to us like we're normal and not barbarians or boneheads or anything of the sort. Now, okay, I'm going off into some alternate thing more than what the uh, video is titled, but I need to say this because even for me, too many times, one too many fucking times, there are people that will just assume things with people with disabilities, and it's really not cool. It really isn't. I mean, you have all these notions of people with disabilities and whether they will be able to understand you, and I get those. I get it because you don't understand. But the worst thing you can do is belittle us. And I don't care if it's a disability like I have, cerebral palsy. I don't care if it's fucking Down syndrome. I don't care if it's ADHD, R- RESPECT, whatever. Respect needs to be put on us as well. And it's really not. I mean, sure, we can go out in the world and work and all this and all that. And then people will say, oh, well, it's nice that they let you work. Now, that is one thing that pisses me off because I've heard it more than once. No job lets me work there. I have to go through the application, the interview, the background check, the same thing everybody else fucking does. I'm not a charity, although I do know this for a fact, that some companies, not all of them, not all of them, so cool your tools, you bunch of Karens out there. I see you, and I know you're out there. Not all businesses do this, but did you know that you can get a tax write off if you hire a person with disabilities? Yeah. So you get a tax break, easy peasy money. And they won't tell you this. The workforce will not tell you this. Okay. But they probably have some sort of quota to fill. Like, okay, we need to hire this many white people. We need to hire this many black people. We need to hire this many disabled people. We need to hire this many Asian people. We need to hire XYZ of this amount of people. Okay. Now, see, me, as you can tell, I use a wheelchair, and I'm an African American man. Okay. Evidently. So, needless to say, some companies, again, I say some, have a field day with me because they hit two birds with one stone. Okay. And I felt that before. And the only place I haven't felt that is where I work now. I work with children at a daycare center, and I absolutely love my job. And this is the first job in quite a while where I have actually felt needed and actually essential to be there. Every other job I've had has always felt like, oh, cool, we got a black disabled guy. Cool, let's hire him. This way we meet double the ratio. And for those of you that are thinking, oh, that's not true, they wouldn't do that. They would and they do. And speaking of that, that's another place where you get the we have or we know somebody like you. I've gone on many job interviews that they're like, oh no, your wheelchair wouldn't be a problem. We have somebody that works here already like that, which is fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that it's not. But I also feel like in some cases, you are comparing me to the one you already have. We might have the same disability again, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do the same things as him. And I think that's where the line gets blurred. I really do. I think that's where the line gets messed up. Because when you say something like that, you're basing your knowledge solely on the person that you know, um, not the person themselves, which is bad. Get to know the person you are hiring as an individual before you hire them. Okay, don't just group, uh, let's just say me and Joe Schmo from down the street together just because we both have a cerebral palsy. And I know I said like a broken record, and I apologize, but this is really a point that I want to drive home. Not every disability, even though it sounds the same in name, is exactly the same. There are different types of cerebral palsy, there are different types of autism, there are different types of Down syndrome. Yes, it's all called the same thing, it's all under the same general umbrella, but there are small differences. For example, there are people with CP that can't walk. There are people with CP that can walk. Let me. Sorry again. Really attractive, isn't it? For example, my mother, God rest her soul, she passed away in 2004 from breast cancer. And she had cerebral palsy as well. And for the longest time when I was a little boy, I didn't believe her because I thought the only version of cerebral palsy was mine, where she would have to use a wheelchair. And I'm just like, there's no way you have cerebral palsy, you can walk. And that's how I know that there are different variations. Just like my brother Timothy, again, God rest his soul, he passed away about 5 years ago. He was brain damaged, blind, and had cerebral palsy. And again, somebody could have a disability like him, but they aren't him. And that's something that you have to remember. But anyway, I've taken up enough of your time for the night. As always, this is Willing and Dealing with JJ, and as always, I am JJ. Have a good night, and bless you. Bye bye, guys.